Final results for the boxing competition at the 1996 Summer Olympics qualification. The following tournaments were used as qualification tournaments for boxing at the 1996 Summer Olympics. Medal winners. Medal table. Results. Light flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight. First round: Michael Strange, Canada def. Francisco Martinez Ruiz, Mexico. Denis Zimbar, Zambia def. Sergey Ostropchapkin, Belarus, RSC3. Tocho Tonchev, Bulgaria def. Octavian Tako, Moldova, RSC2. Jaroslav Konodny, Czech Republic def. Idrissa Kabor, Burkina Faso, 16-6. Pongside Wangwizet, Thailand def. Irvin Bulalu, South Africa, 21-5. Terence Cawthon, United States def. Mahomet Qadir Abdullayev, Uzbekistan, 18-6. Tumenset Seguatumin, Mongolia def. Miguel Majica, Dominican Republic, 7-1. Shin Yun-chul, South Korea def. George Mena, Kenya, RSC3. Fabrizio Neva, Argentina def. Franco Agento, Uganda, 12-8. Hossein Soltani, Algeria def. Vardatan Niseva, Turkey, 14-2. Agnaldo Nunes, Brazil def. Henry Kunci, Papua New Guinea, 11-11. Sergei Kopenkin, Kyrgyzstan def. Christian Giantomasi, Italy, 12-11. Leonard Dorofte, Romania def. Julio Mabumba, Gabon, RSC2. Julio Valladares Gonzalez, Cuba def. Romeo Brin, Philippines, 24-13. Kobago Galadze, Georgia def. Risi Hol, North Korea, 17-9. Second round: Michael Strange, Canada def. Meka Gazarian, Armenia, 16-7. Tocho Tonchev, Bulgaria def. Denis Zimbar, Zambia, 17-9. Pongside Wangwizet, Thailand def. Jaroslav Konodny, Czech Republic, 20-6. Terence Cawthon, United States def. Tumenset Seguatumin, Mongolia, 10-9. Shin Yun-chul, South Korea def. Fabrizio Neva, Argentina, 27-11. Hossein Soltani, Algeria def. Agnaldo Nunes, Brazil, 11-1. Leonard Dorofte, Romania def. Sergei Kopenkin, Kyrgyzstan, 10-1. Kobago Galadze, Georgia def. Julio Gonzalez Valladares, Cuba, 14-9. Quarterfinals: Terence Cawthon, United States def. Pongside Wangwizet, Thailand, 14-10. Tocho Tonchev, Bulgaria def. Michael Strange, Canada, 16-10. Hossein Soltani, Algeria def. Shin Yun-chul, South Korea, 16-10. Leonard Dorofte, Romania def. Kobago Galadze, Georgia, 17-8. Semi-finals: Tocho Tonchev, Bulgaria def. Terence Cawthon, United States, 15-12. Hossein Soltani, Algeria def. Leonard Dorofte, Romania, 9-6. Final: Hossein Soltani, Algeria def. Tocho Tonchev, Bulgaria, 3-3. Light welterweight first round: Hector Vinant, Cuba def. Hyung-min Han, South Korea, RSC2. Nurensuli Imanoglu, Turkey def. Abubakar Diallo, Guinea, 21-5. Philip Boudreau, Canada def. Haji Matamluk, Tanzania, 16-12. Edward Zakharov, Russia def. Fumitaka Nitami, Japan, 21-6. Davis Mwale, Zambia def. Stephen Kevy, Papua New Guinea, 16-3. Bolani Yazambetov, Kazakhstan def. Carlos Martinez, Mexico, 25-3. Gervais Legras, Seychelles def. Dario Salas, Colombia, 26-12. Babik Mothimi, Iran def. Radoslav Suslikov, Bulgaria, 11-3. Jacek Bielski, Poland def. Luis Deans Perez, Puerto Rico, 18-2. Mohamed Alilu, Algeria def. Peter Balingup, Kenya, 17-3. Francis Barrett, Ireland def. Zeli Ferreira, Brazil, 32-7. 30 Misuer, Tunisia def. Lee Torch, Australia, 25-9. David Diaz, United States def. Jacobo Garcia, U.S. Virgin Islands, RSC 3. Octay Urkel, Germany def. Ronaldo Galido, Philippines, 19-2. Sergei Bykovsky, Belarus def. Vasiki Wardzetashvili, Georgia, 11-11. Referee decision. Nordin Muichi, France def. Ullah Azmin, Pakistan, Co. 1. Second round Hector Vinant, Cuba def. Nuran Suli Imanoglu, Turkey, 23-1. Eduard Zakharov, Russia def. Philip Boudreau, Canada, 11-9. Bolani Yazambetov, Kazakhstan def. Davis Mwale, Zambia, 11-3. Babik Mothimi, Iran def. Gervais Legras, Seychelles, 16-7. 30 Misuer, Tunisia def. Francis Barrett, Ireland, 18-6. Octay Urkel, Germany def. David Diaz, United States, 14-6. Nordin Muichi, France def. Sergei Bykovsky, Belarus, 17-6. Mohamed Alilu, Algeria def. Jacek Bielski, Poland, 19-8. Quarterfinals Hector Vinant, Cuba def. Eduard Zakharov, Russia, 15-7. Bolani Yazambetov, Kazakhstan def. Babik Mothimi, Iran, 13-8. 30 Misuer, Tunisia def. Mohamed Alilu, Algeria, 16-15. Octay Urkel, Germany def. Nordin Muichi, France, 19-10. Semi-finals Hector Vinant, Cuba def. Bolani Yazambetov, Kazakhstan, 23-6. Octay Urkel, Germany def. 30 Misuer, Tunisia, 20-6. Final Hector Vinant, Cuba def. Octay Urkel, Germany, 20-13. Welterweight first round Hassan Al, Denmark def. Rogelio Martinez, Dominican Republic, RSCI 3. Sergey Janziruk, Ukraine def. Park Bumjang Phanak, Thailand, 20-10. Fernando Vargas, United States def. Tengiz Meskadze, Georgia, 10-4. Marian Simeon, Romania def. Hussein Bayram, France, 13-6. Vadim Mezga, Belarus def. Lucas Sinoia, Mozambique, 11-6. Juan Hernandez Sierra, Cuba def. Joseph Nagy, Hungary, RSC2. Nurs Ansmanov, Kazakhstan def. Lyndon Hosking, Australia, RSC2, 142. Abdul Rashid, Pakistan def. Jesus Flores, Mexico, 12-7. Oleg Satov, Russia def. Kei Hitsumi, Turkey, 11-1. Hojo Bae, South Korea def. Guillermo Saputo, Argentina, 11-7. Vitalijus Karpatiauskas, Lithuania def. Hassan Misong, Tanzania, 9-1. Camel Charter, Tunisia def. Hercules Kaivalos, Canada, 4-1 by tiebreak. Nariman Atayev, Uzbekistan def. Ashira Evans, Kenya, 15-10. Nurbek Kasanov, Kyrgyzstan def. Shane Heaps, Tonga, 11-2. Kabul Larsen, Morocco def. Luis Hernandez, Ecuador, 18-9. Daniel Santos, Puerto Rico def. Ernest Attingana MBO at Cameroon, RSC 1. Second round Hassan Al, Denmark def. Sergey Janziruk, Ukraine, 10-4. Marian Simeon, Romania def. Fernando Vargas, United States, 8-7. Juan Hernandez Sierra, Cuba def. Vadim Mezga, Belarus, 12-2. Nurzan Smirnov, Kazakhstan def. Abdul Rashid, Pakistan, 13-9. Oleg Satov, Russia def. Hojo Bae, South Korea, 9-5. Kamil Chater, Tunisia def. Vitalijus Karpathiauskas, Lithuania, RSC1. Nariman Atayev, Uzbekistan def. Nurbek Kasanov, Kyrgyzstan, 11-7. Daniel Santos, Puerto Rico def. Kabul Larzan, Morocco, 16-4. Quarterfinals Marian Simeon, Romania def. Hassan Al, Denmark, 16-8. Juan Hernandez Sierra, Cuba def. Nurzan Smirnov, Kazakhstan, 16-8. Daniel Santos, Puerto Rico def. Nariman Atayev, Uzbekistan, 28-15. Oleg Satov, Russia def. Kamil Chater, Tunisia, 9-3. Semi-finals Juan Hernandez Sierra, Cuba def. Marian Simeon, Romania, 20-7. Oleg Satov, Russia def. Daniel Santos, Puerto Rico, 13-11. Final Oleg Satov, Russia def. Juan Hernandez Sierra, Cuba, 14-9. Light middleweight. First round rival Cado, Seychelles def. George Silva, Brazil, 22-7. Karim Tulaganov, Uzbekistan def. Oscar Gomez, not applicable for Philip Wolfgram, RSC3. David Reed, United States def. Lee Won-kyun, South Korea, 20-4. Jared Wald, Ethiopia def. Kurt Sonet, Trinidad and Tobago, 11-10. Pavel Polakovich, Czech Republic def. Victor Kunen, South Africa, 8-1. Jorn Johnson, Norway def. Sean Black, Jamaica, 13-7. Georgi Misset, Hungary def. Richard Rolls, Australia, 10-2. Mohamed Marmouri, Tunisia def. Marcelino Masso, American Samoa, 11-8. Marcus Beck, Germany def. Francisc Vastag, Romania, 17-12. Hendrik Simangansong, Indonesia def. Alexander Quamvald, Zimbabwe, 12-1. Yermakhan Ibramov, Kazakhstan def. Nick Farrell, Canada, 15-4. Serhiy Horodnyshov, Ukraine def. Albert Aromasel, Nigeria, 18-4. Alfredo Duvigal, Cuba def. Joseph Galewski, Poland, 10-2. Antonio Perugino, Italy def. Jose Luis Quinones, Puerto Rico, 10-8. Roger Patterson, Sweden def. Shokrat Gurbanov, Turkmenistan, 7-2. Second round rival Cado, Seychelles def. Ashokwe Larega, Ghana, 18-6. Karim Tulaganov, Uzbekistan def. Jared Wald, Ethiopia, 13-9. David Reed, United States def. Pavel Polakovich, Czech Republic, 12-5. Mohamed Marmouri, Tunisia def. Jorn Johnson, Norway, 17-4. Marcus Beck, Germany def. Georgi Misset, Hungary, 14-6. Yermakhan Ibramov, Kazakhstan def. Hendrik Simangansong, Indonesia, RSC1. Alfredo Duvigal, Cuba def. Serhiy Horodnyshov, Ukraine, 15-2. Antonio Perugino, Italy def. Roger Patterson, Sweden, 18-4. Quarterfinals Karim Tulaganov, Uzbekistan def. Rival Cado, Seychelles, RSC1, 124. David Reed, United States def. Mohamed Marmouri, Tunisia, 13-8. Yermakhan Ibramov, Kazakhstan def. Marcus Beck, Germany, 19-9. Alfredo Duvigal, Cuba def. Antonio Perugino, Italy, 15-8. Semi-finals David Reed, United States def. Karim Tulaganov, Uzbekistan, 12-4. Alfredo Duvigel, Cuba def. Yermakhan Ibramov, Kazakhstan, 28-19. Final David Reed, United States def. Alfredo Duvigel, Cuba, Co. 3. Middleweight. First round Malik Beyleroglu, Turkey vs. By ZSOLTERI, Hungary def. Juan Pablo Lopez, Mexico, RSC 3. Thamwazai Wong Somnak, Thailand def. Mohamed Mesbahi, Morocco, 9-6. Hiroku Nimoto, Japan def. Tao Chen, China, 15-10. Akaki Kakao Ridze, Georgia def. Ricardo Araneda, Chile, 10-3. Mohamed Bahari, Algeria def. Marcus Thomas, Barbados, RSC 2. Brian McGee, Ireland def. Randall Thompson, Canada, 13-5. Bertrand Tetsia, Cameroon def. Lim Chalmoon, South Korea, 12-2. Ricardo Rodriguez, Brazil def. Bob Gassio, Western Samoa, 11-4. Roshi Wells, United States def. Safaid-T Molil, Iran, 24-7. Dilshad Yarbakov, Uzbekistan def. Brian Johansson, Denmark, RSC 3. Ludovic Plachetka, Czech Republic def. Dan Mathunjawa, Swaziland, 20-4. Ariel Hernandez, Cuba def. Kabari Salem, Egypt, 11-2. Svenotka, Germany def. Jean-Paul Mendy, France, 11-4. Alexander Lebziak, Russia def. Rowan Donaldson, Jamaica, 20-4. Justin Crawford, Australia def. Saki Shivut, Namibia, 12-3. Second round Malik Beyleroglu, Turkey def. ZSOLTERI, Hungary, 9-8. Thamwazai Wong Somnak, Thailand def. Hiroku Nimoto, Japan, 11-6. Mohamed Bahari, Algeria def. Akaki Kakao Ridze, Georgia, 8-5. Brian McGee, Ireland def. Bertrand Tetsia, Cameroon, 11-6. Roshi Wells, United States def. Ricardo Rodriguez, Brazil, 16-2. Dilshad Yarbakov, Uzbekistan def. Ludovic Plachetka, Czech Republic, 4-4. Ariel Hernandez, Cuba def. Svenotka, Germany, 5-0. Alexander Lebziak, Russia def. Justin Crawford, Australia, RSC 3. Quarterfinals Malik Beyleroglu, Turkey def. Thamwazai Wong Somnak, Thailand, 16-12. Mohamed Bahari, Algeria def. Brian McGee, Ireland, 12-9. Roshi Wells, United States def. Dilshad Yarbakov, Uzbekistan, 8-8. Judges cards. Ariel Hernandez, Cuba def. Alexander Lebziak, Russia, 15-8. Semi-finals Malik Beyleroglu, Turkey def. Mohamed Bahari, Algeria, 11-11. Referee decision. Ariel Hernandez, Cuba def. Roshi Wells, United States, 17-8. Final Ariel Hernandez, Cuba def. Malik Beyleroglu, Turkey, 11-3. Light heavyweight. First round Antonio Tarver, United States def. Dmitry Vybornov, Russia, 5-2. Sibrand Bots, South Africa def. Gabriel Hernandez, Dominican Republic, 16-11. Enrique Flores, Puerto Rico def. Gurchan Singh, India, 15-7. Troy Amos Ross, Canada def. Roland Reform, Seychelles, Co. 3. Paul Mbongard, Cameroon def. Peter Odiambo, Kenya, 15-6. Vasily Girov, Kazakhstan def. Julio Gonzalez, Mexico, RSC 2. Pietro Orino, Italy def. Yusuf Ozturk, Turkey, 15-7. Daniel Bispo, Brazil def. Adnan Kadu, Syria 9-4. Jean-Louis Mandengui, France def. Ayub Pourtaghi Gushchi, Iran 21-9. Ismail Kona, Sweden def. Ilkham Kerimov, Azerbaijan 22-3. Thomas Ulrich, Germany def. Richt Imperi, Australia 21-7. Stipe Drvis, Croatia def. John Douglas, Guyana RSC2. Timur Ibragimov, Uzbekistan def. Rostislav Zolikny, Ukraine 7-3. Lee Sung-bae, South Korea def. Samuel Aleu, Western Samoa 14-0. Freddy Rojas, Cuba def. Mahmoud Khalifa, Egypt 20-9. Second round Antonio Tava, United States def. David Ikwa, Sierra Leone RSC1. Enrique Flores, Puerto Rico def. Sibrandbots, South Africa 16-7. Troy Amos Ross, Canada def. Paul Mbongard, Cameroon 7-3. Vasily Girov, Kazakhstan def. Pietro Orino, Italy 18-13. Daniel Bispo, Brazil def. Jean-Louis Mandengui, France RSC1. Stipe Drvis, Croatia def. Timur Ibragimov, Uzbekistan 10-9. Thomas Ulrich, Germany def. Ismail Kona, Sweden 24-9. Lee Sung-bae, South Korea def. Freddy Rojas, Cuba 13-9. Quarterfinals Antonio Tava, United States def. Enrique Flores, Puerto Rico RSC3. Vasily Girov, Kazakhstan def. Troy Amos Ross, Canada 14-8. Thomas Ulrich, Germany def. Daniel Bispo, Brazil 14-7. Lee Sung-bae, South Korea def. Stipe Drvis, Croatia 14-11. Semi-finals Vasily Girov, Kazakhstan def. Antonio Tava, United States 15-9. Lee Sung-bae, South Korea def. Thomas Ulrich, Germany 12-8. Final Vasily Girov, Kazakhstan def. Lee Sung-bae, South Korea 17-4. Heavyweight. First round Igor Shinin, Russia def. Mustafa Amru, Egypt 17-4. Luan Krasniki, Germany def. Ruslan Chagaev, Uzbekistan 12-4. Garth da Silva, New Zealand def. Cathal O'Grady, Ireland RSC1. Sergey Daichkov, Belarus def. Romans Kuklans, Latvia 16-6. Wojciech Bartnik, Poland def. Lakha Singh, India 14-2. Georgi Kandelaki, Georgia def. Thompson Garcia, Ecuador abandoned. Guamena Turkson, Sweden def. Young Samko, South Korea 12-8. Felix Savon, Cuba def. Andrei Kumar, Zuka, Kyrgyzstan 9-3. Second round Nate Jones, United States def. Fola Oaksola, Great Britain RSC3. Tao Jiang, China def. Charles Kiza, Uganda 10-7. Christophe Mendy, France def. Ovidiu Bali, Romania RSC2. David Defy Agbon, Canada def. Omar Ahmed, Kenya 15-4. Luan Krasniki, Germany def. Igor Shinin, Russia 10-2. Georgi Kandelaki, Georgia def. Wojciech Bartnik, Poland 6-1. Sergey Daichkov, Belarus def. Garth da Silva, New Zealand 12-8. Felix Savon, Cuba def. Guamena Turkson, Sweden Co. 1. Quarterfinals Nate Jones, United States def. Jiang Tao, China 21-4. David Defy Agbon, Canada def. Christophe Mendy, France DSQ3. Luan Krasniki, Germany def. Sergey Daichkov, Belarus 10-5. Felix Savon, Cuba def. Georgi Kandelaki, Georgia 20-4. Semi-finals: David Defy-Agbon, Canada Def. Nate Jones, United States 16-10. Felix Savon, Cuba Def. Luan Krasniki, Germany, walkover. Final: Felix Savon, Cuba Def.